Good morning, my friends. This is Angie Stewart, and I'm very happy to be here today with you all, here in the Facebook page, in the live stream of Conscious Living. And today we are continue our studies, our Sunday morning studies. So I know we are going through a hard time. We are all locked in our homes, but you know, it's important. It's very necessary for our own health and for the good of so many others. So let's take advantage of this time that we can't physically go to the Spiritist Center, but we all have phones, we all have computers, so we can still improve our spiritual being, continue our studies, and watching beautiful lectures. And I hope the lecture today, it's very simple, but I hope it can help you with something, with some kind of improvement in your heart and with your family, your physical family, but also with our spiritual family. So now that I said all this, I would like to invite you to a very short prayer so we can connect with the enlightened spirits, our guardian angels, and we can all be better inspired. For me to talk and you to listen and to comprehend. Okay? Almighty God, our Master Jesus, our guardian angels, thank you so much for the opportunity of being here today, talking about the importance of family. Please, Master, help all of us to fully connect with the enlightened spirits, helping us to build this love, strength, helping all of us to continue living the way we are right now in our homes, but full of hopes for better days, with the assurance that this happened because of a reason that we don't know, but it is for our own benefit. And at this moment, I would like to ask for your inspiration to guide me and my friends through this lecture. Please stay with us now and ever. Thank you so much. So be it. Very good, my friends. Are you ready? Very good. We are going to be talking about family. And please, even if you don't have kids and you think, oh, this is not for me, I don't have kids. Yes, it is for you, because you are a kid. You are a child of a mother and a father. Yes, maybe you don't even know who are your physical parents, but they were very, very important for you to be here today. So let's watch it with open hearts so we can benefit from it. I will share with you my slides, and during the lecture I will not be able to see the comments, but let me just go like this. That's the title. My two kids arrived. So let's start with the lecture. Faster! Can you believe this? The dogs have to rebel right now. Oh, God, help me. Okay, my friends, I will share here my screen, and hopefully you are seeing the full lecture. Let me just confirm if it is happening here. I hope so. I cannot see on my phone, but I hope it's being shared in the page of Conscious Living. If someone is not seeing, please send me a message, because it's not showing here. But I think it's good. So let's go. We are going to talk about building a family harmony. So these are the types of families, some of the types of families. These are the most common types of families we have. Mother and father, and usually two kids. But it's very, very common also to have a single mom and her kids. And the father figure disappears for some time, or sometimes it's not present at all. But we have all these other types of families, and they are beautiful and extremely important. So we have two mothers, two fathers, a very diverse family, and many times also grandparents only raising the kids. So this is the physical family. But as you can see, two moms, two dads, so they might not be the biological parents, but they are the loving parents who actually accepted and embraced that spirit in this reincarnation. And here we start with the message from the missionaries of the light. The home is the shelter of souls. The family is the core of reincarnation. So if we don't have a mother and a father, we cannot have a reincarnation. And this is extremely important. We need to come back. We need to continue improving. So God is extremely intelligent and gives this opportunity for us to come back, and come back as many times as we need through the reincarnation. And we know that every time we reincarnate, we improve. We get a little bit better. Oh, hold on. I don't think you guys are seeing my whole lecture. What's that? 1 second, please. Let me see it here. I hope you can see it now. I didn't realize it was like that. Let's see if it's showing better now. I think it is. Sorry about that. And I think now you can see the whole screen. Yes, yes, sorry about that. I'm glad I have my phone here and I was able to see the mistake that was happening. So, okay, let's continue. I have lots of important things to talk and I need to control the time. So we start with the purpose of families. So in the Spirit's book, we know that the purpose of family is really to help us to forgive, evolve, and progress. Forgive, evolve, continue our progress. So you see this beautiful family, they are very different physically, but they might be very different spiritually. And this is the beauty of families, because in a family we have reincarnated with us the ones we love deeply, but we have reincarnated with us the ones we had a lot of issues in the past. And that's how we will be able to mingle and to progress faster. So in chapter 7, we have the return to corporeal lives. All these items I put here are extremely important, but I cannot talk deeply about it. I will give little glimpses of it through the lecture, but if you can, please go to the Spirit's book and fully read all these questions and all these items, and you will be able to fully understand. But the item 379, childhood sympathies, antipathies, and forgetfulness of the past is the key. So can you imagine if we didn't have the forgetfulness of the past? We would be reincarnated and we would discover that the father we have such a hard time to cope, hard time to live with, it was actually that a difficult husband from a past life. You would be like, oh no, I can't take this guy anymore. But God is so good that he helps us not to fully remember, because we have that feeling that, oh, it's my father. I love him so much, but at the same time, I have such a difficult time to cope with him. So because he's my father in this reincarnation, I really work harder to be able to love him and to forgive whatever it's going on. So this is the wisdom of God helping us to be able to progress. And this question, 775, is very important. What would be the effect upon society of the relaxation of family ties? So Kardec did not talk about breaking, destroying family ties. He just talked about relaxation, a little bit of the family ties. And the answer is a relapse into selfishness. So if it relaxes a little bit, we are going to go into selfishness. And what is to be selfish is a person that lacks consideration for others. It's the person that thinks it's me and me only. I'm the center of universe. So this is a problem. That's why families have to be like that, because we are able to stop thinking just about us and think of us as a group, as an important group. When we go to the gospel, we can talk a little bit more about the material and the spiritual families. So we have in chapter 14 that blood ties do not necessarily create bonds between the spirits. Parents create just the body of the child. The spirit was created by God centuries ago. So when you see this beautiful couple, the mom and the dad, they both together created that body. So you can see this beautiful girl. She's a little bit of the father, a little bit of the mother. She's this beautiful mix. So her physical body was created by the parents, but her spirit was created by God. And it's an old spirit. Even the little tiny babies, the young babies, you cannot say, oh, such a young soul, because that soul is old. Maybe it's older than their own parents. So this child of God is full of good qualities, but also bad qualities. So, and this is what the parents will have to administer in this lifetime. They will have to help this child to evolve, to continue progressing. So we have item 8. Material family is a school to fully integrate the spiritual family. Why? Well, you can imagine sometimes you have a very hard time with your brother, your physical brother. But then you have a best friend that is absolutely different from your family. It's just a friend, and you absolutely love him. And you think, oh, I wish so much he could be my brother, and that one could disappear. But that's the wisdom of God, because that best friend, he probably was a loved one from your past life. So this is already acquired. This love is already there. Now you have to deal with this one that's the hard one, that needs your love, needs your forgiveness, that you need to evolve together. So this is the beauty of receiving him in your family. And here is a beautiful sentence from St. Augustine. Mothers, embrace the child which causes vexation. Vexation is trouble. And says to yourself, one of us is guilty. So this helps the mother or father with the child. They have a hard time. So they understand that one of them did something wrong in the past, and they were put together to improve together, to forgive, to be able to fully love each other. Then we come to this slide where is a bigger picture of a family. So you can see grandparents, probably kids, the spouses, and you also see the children, the grandchildren. And then we have that the reincarnation makes bonds of love. So this is why we reincarnate, because we learn how to love each other. And then love and perseverance can win over hatred, because it depends on us, depends on our free will in order to work these negative feelings to improve and to be able to fully love. And here you see like a bigger scale. I don't know how to explain, but you see the little bit of a salad of feelings. So the family is constituted of love, but also hatred. Hatred is a very hard word, but unfortunately in some families, that's what it is there. And we also have help, and we have tests. We have support, and we have advancement for some. So why advancement for some? Because of what I just said. You love and perseverance can win. It depends on our free will in order to be able to advance, or in order to be able to help to advance. Because yes, that the negative feeling could be from a mother to a son. And you know, maybe the son doesn't like their mother, but he respects her, he tolerates her. Let's imagine spirits that hated each other through many lives, and they killed each other in many reincarnations. So in this time, the spirits, the elevated spirits, always tell us that when the hatred is so strong, usually they send the spirits as a mother and a son, so they will be able to love each other. Because when the hatred is too difficult, mother and son is the easiest way to be able to love. And even like that, sometimes, unfortunately, it does not happen. But if in this reincarnation, in this situation, for example, mother and son who killed each other so many times, if they reincarnate and they are able to overcome it, if they are able to not kill each other, they don't love each other, but at least they tolerate each other. So this is already an advancement. I know it's hard. We all want something much, much better, but in this situation, it's already an advancement. And they will continue reincarnating. So in another opportunity, they will come in different ways, maybe two sisters, brother and sister, we don't know. And they will continue progressing. This is the beauty. But through our free will, we need to want really strongly to improve. And here we arrive to a key point, the main point that we are talking about, the children. So you see here the little children, old spirits, little children. So a child is a spirit that was entrusted to us for some time. They are spirits in evolution as ourselves. Therefore, some bonds or compromises connect us for this or that reason. This is from the book, Our Children Are Spirits. So, beautiful. A child is a spirit that was entrusted to us. So, my son is not my son. He's a son of God. But he was entrusted to me in this lifetime, in this incarnation. So I have the responsibility to guide him in the best way possible. So whenever I discarnate, when I go to the spiritual realm, I will have to talk about how I did my job. So being a mother, father, responsible for a child is a job that we have here on earth. So we have to do it well, although there will be consequences for us too. So if you see lots of parents with bad problems, bad behaviors, you know, everything, God sees everything that's good, everything that's negative, and everything will be accounted for. So let's try to do our best. So we will have our scale a little bit better when we go back to the spiritual realm. Here, I just want to show this little graph so you can understand. I'm sure most of you already know, but maybe someone is new and never heard of indigo children. So the children that have been incarnating for, like, I don't know, the past 10 years, past 20 years, they are lots of these children. So in my time, also had it, but in a much smaller amount. On the past 20 years, they are coming in a huge amount. And nowadays we feel it. Lots of people talk about, this is crazy. When I was this age, I never even thought about doing this. But it's because most of these children that are coming nowadays are indigo children. So there are indigo and crystal children that I want to talk about. So the indigo children, they are coming in thousands and millions. They are extremely intelligent, extremely bright, but not necessarily morally elevated. So they need the guidance. So that's when the parents really have to be strongly guiding them. And these children, they are not going to accept everything. In my time, I used to ask something from my mom and say, but mom, why can I do that? Because I said so. And that's it. She said so. I can't even argue. I can't even ask anything because so I accepted. And I didn't have much trouble with it. And I accepted. And nowadays I'm kind of okay. I survived. But the children of nowadays is different. If you say, because I said so, that's going to be a huge argument. That will be a huge problem. So you can't do it because I said so. You have to explain. You cannot put your finger there, because if you put your finger there, you're going to be electrocuted. And electrocuted is something that's going to hurt you really bad and might even kill you. And of course, you have to explain this in different ways, depending of the issue, and of course, depending the age of the child you are talking about. And the crystal children are these blessings of God. They are rare. It's not like millions of kids like that. They are rare, but they are extremely intelligent and extremely morally elevated. So they are the ones that are coming to teach and guide us. Teach and guide us. So they will teach and guide their parents, their family, society. They will be the ones that will be really shining in the future. But don't worry about thinking, is my child indigo, crystal, or normal? Don't worry about it. I'm just telling you, because if someone ever talk about it, you heard what it is. And now we're going to talk about educators' requirements. Who are the educators? We are the educators. So the educators could be parents, grandparents, uncles, siblings, or even a friend, an older friend. And what are the requirements? Whew, there are so many requirements, but I chose 5. I chose 5 that I think they are the most important ones. So patience. Patience is actually the science of peace. Patience. When you have patience, you made peace with yourself in order to accept something that's going on. That's patience. I need more of this science. It's not easy, but we have to work to develop it. Tolerance, respect, persistence, discipline. So these 5 are extremely important. And when we think about discipline, we remember Emmanuel, the spirit of Emmanuel, when he met Chico Xavier, the medium. If you saw the movie about the life of Chico Xavier, you can understand what I'm talking about. So Emmanuel tells him, do you want to work with me? Do you really want to write those books? And Emmanuel said, yes, what do I need to do? And Emmanuel tells him, you need 3 items: discipline, discipline, and discipline. So you know that discipline is very, very important. And the discipline here, you can think, oh, I have to discipline my kids. But many times discipline is also for the educators, the parents, the family members. Because you cannot teach something if you don't have discipline that within yourself. And then we go. Do educators have all these requirements? No. No, unfortunately, no. But we have some of them, or sometimes we have all of them in a little bit, or sometimes in certain issues we don't have one at all. But we need to think about, we have to work on it in order to become a good educator. And the important thing is, what is the best way to teach? You only can teach through example. So if you want to teach someone, a kid, that smoking is really bad, if you do it, it's going to be very hard. If you want to teach your kid that the cursing is really bad, but you curse all the time, that's very difficult. Anything you want to teach a kid, if you are doing it, it's very hard. So I see some videos on the internet of people filming little kids cursing, and they are just 2, 3, 4 years old, and they are saying sentences, and the whole family is laughing, thinking it's really cute and beautiful. But when that kid grows a little bit and starts saying that words to you, educator, then it's not beautiful anymore. And then it's hard. Then it will be hard for you to correct that. So be careful. The little ones are the ones that we have to be strong, and we have to teach them. If you are still doing it, stop. Police yourself to don't do something that you want to teach. And the inner harmony starts respecting our differences. So our kid, it's another spirit, and we have to respect him or her. So you cannot impose everything. I talk about myself. I would love my son to have a very short haircut, but my son absolutely loves his curls, his huge curls. So I came with peace that it's okay. If he loves it, that's okay. He's a great kid, and this is like the minimum thing. And I have to respect him. He's a human being. And in the gospel, chapter 5, we have this important thing. Actual causes of afflictions from this life. So most of our afflictions are from this life. Laziness, impatience, violence, and many others. From past lives are really congenital diseases. You are born blind, you're born without an arm, something like that. But everything else, many times we bring from this life. So we can't be putting everything, oh, in my last life, that's why I'm like this nowadays. Don't think like that. You have to improve in this life. Think proactively. And this chart here I created just to make a comparison of the old education through the education of now, and you have to see what was good in the past and what is good now, and what has to improve, because no model is perfect, but our past lessons should help us to create and implement a better family model. And you see the old family and the new family. So the mother is the law, the father thinks he is the law, and it's still like this nowadays. I remember whenever I wanted something, I used to ask my father, because he was much more loving. But I knew if my mother didn't allow, it will never happen. So even if many times he said, yes, I think it's okay, he always said, but I have to check with your mom first. She was the law. So we see here the many items. I will not have the time to talk about everything, but in the past, kids fear parents. Nowadays, parents fear kids. The kids respected parents. Nowadays, parents are mistreated by kids. And I'm not talking about teenagers. Sometimes little ones, they tell horrible things to parents that you're like, how this little kid is telling this to this mother and she's accepting? So this is all about our education. Are you going to allow this to happen? You have to work on it. I'm not telling that to do this in the kids, especially nowadays, that's not allowed. But you have to understand what are the limits of certain things and impose rules in this little wild one. So kids used to follow rules. Now parents follow kids' impositions. Parents gave love. It was tough love. It was not like, hey, it was tough love, but it was a love that made us better people, better adults. So nowadays, parents give things. Parents sometimes they cannot cope with certain things, and instead of disciplining the kids, they say something, and right afterwards, oh, I'm going to buy you a cell phone, I'm going to buy you a game, I'm going to buy you whatever. And they think they are making bonds with the kids, buying things, and it's not good. So parents were parents. Now parents are friends only. Remember, you can be friends with your son, with your daughter, but parents are different than friends. Friends are the ones that are never going to impose certain things, and never going to tell you, don't do that. This is not going to be good for you. Usually friends will say, okay, I wouldn't do it, but if you want to do it, do it. So parents are becoming like that, and it's not good. So these other items are related to the past. So the family usually had one TV. Nowadays, it's one TV in every room. So in the past, we had to all sit together to watch one show. Nowadays, after dinner, boom, everybody disperse. And many families don't even have dinner together. They already get their dish and they go to their own room, to their own TV, to the cell phone, and they are not there. So family had dinner conversations. Now they have smartphones. So the school helped with education. Now the school is the only education. The family is not doing their important part. So parents, they follow teachers' guidance. Nowadays, they fight against the teachers. And you have to think about the situation we are living right now due to the coronavirus. We are all stuck in our homes. Many families are with their kids, and they don't have, especially in Brazil, because he's a little bit different. But in Brazil, they have the schools, obviously, but they also have nannies, they have babysitters, they have people that stay full-time taking care of the kids. And nowadays, these employees are in their homes with their families. So now it's actually a good time for parents to be parents. Parents to learn how to teach their own kids, because they used to work too much and they used to leave super early, come back super late. The kids are always sleeping. They only see the kids in the weekend. And then the kids are a little crazy, and they give all kinds of things for the kids to be quiet. And now they're seeing their kids are not the angels they imagine. They actually need to discipline the kids. So this is a tough time, but it's an important time. So we don't understand why we have the coronavirus, but we have to make the best of it, taking the opportunity really to be together with our family, to understand what can we improve together. What can I do the best of my time that now I'm with my family? How can I do that? So this is really good. So I put this thing here because I absolutely loved the Jetsons. So it was created in 1962, and it was supposed to be a family living 100 years ahead. So it would be 2062, ahead of our time. But as you can see here, I put just 3 things. You can see here they had a machine that made food. So nowadays you can think about fast food that you call and they deliver ready. Or you can even think about the frozen dinners. You put in a microwave, boom, it's ready. But what is the consequence of it? Yes, it's very good, it's very fast, it's awesome, but we all know it's not healthy. So it's not going to kill you to have it a little bit sometimes, but if you only have this every day, be careful with this modernity. So I used to bring the little dinners from Weight Watchers they were frozen, super tiny little portions, but they tasted really good, and they had a very small amount of calories. But later on, talking to a friend that understood a lot about the food, he's the one who told me, look the amount of sodium. This is extremely bad to your health. You will be losing weight, but the sodium in your body is extremely dangerous. So we have to think about the modernity that sometimes is not the best. We have here a wonderful thing that everybody's using, even me. So we are using this conference call. So I am working now full-time from home through videos. So this is awesome. It's extremely good help. We have here the cleaning lady. A lot of people have iRobots, the little vacuum cleaner that goes around the house, and it's such a help. So these are wonderful things that help us busy people nowadays, but we have to be careful. Everything has to be used in balance. And this is also modern. Look at this. the two little babies. They are babies. They are babies with cell phones. And a lot of people, look how cute. It's adorable. Yes, it is cute. It is fun. And I'm not saying it's forbidden. You can give to them for a very, 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 very short amount of time. The youngest they are, the less they can use a smartphone, an iPad, or things like that. This is what they should be doing. They should be playing with each other. They are ignoring each other, and they are glued there. We also know scientists, they explain a lot about hormones, dopamine that is released in your brains, and you have that sensation of happiness when you're using a smartphone, and it gives you images super quickly. But when you think about the little kids, when they play together, that's when they are really learning. And at this age, usually 2 years old, this is the toughest age to parents, because this is the age the kids only think about themselves. And that's when the mothers have to be, you have to share, you have to share. No, let him play with your toy. You can play with his toy. So it's building up in the minds of the kids that they have to respect each other, and they can give his toy and play with the other toy. So this is the beginning of an education of a little ones. But nowadays I see a lot of this. It's sad. It's very sad. I even saw a picture of a play date with 8 children, the mothers around, all talking, and every kid on a smartphone. Isn't that crazy? We used to get together in the past for the kids to play, and it was a mess because they used to fight and cry, but it was important for the kids to start building the social understanding, and also, you know, the important thing is to learn how to put the toys here and that, and then it becomes this. That's what happens. The kids get older and they get used to this. In my time was this. We finish school, we have 10 minutes waiting for the parents, throw the backpacks and run. We love to run, play catch, play hide and seek, play anything, soccer. But nowadays it's like this. I remember one time, a long time ago, I still lived in Brooklyn, New York, and was a family reunion. I brought Jensen, who was like 7, to the basement where all the kids were, all his cousins. And they were very similar age, a little bit older than him. One, he was 7, one was 8, the other 9, and the others was like 13, so to 12. So I know 12s are much older. But when I thought they were playing and it was so silent, I went there to see. Every single kid had a phone in their hand. So they were all sitting with the phone, and Jensen was just looking because he didn't have a phone until we moved to Florida. So very sad, very, very sad. And we have to change it. We have to change this behavior. I remember I went there and I love games. So I told them, let's play. Everybody's going to put the phones away and I want to play. And even the older kids, they were like, I think they were 11 at the time or 12. They also accepted. So I hid some chocolates in different places, and I gave them a time to find, and they went crazy, and it was hilarious. They thought that this was the best thing in the planet. So I was playing hot and cold. So anytime they arrived closer to something, I was saying it's hot, hot, very hot. They thought it was a blast. But of course, as soon as I finished the game and I told them, now you can do yourself, they went back to the cell phones. So let's reflect on this. And how can we fix mistakes? So many mistakes. This is Rossando Klindi that I mentioned before. He wrote this book. So he's a Brazilian psychologist, and he's specialized in families, in family behaviors. And this book had all the things that we'll talk here. It's in this book, or you can also see many of his lectures if you speak Portuguese. He starts with how to correct something. How do we do it? We need to start by pointing out the good qualities. So anytime you want to talk to a child about something that's wrong, you have to start mentioning, oh, you're so good, you did this good, that was good, this is wonderful. But we have to talk about this point that's not good. And that's the only way you can approach the child, because if you arrive, the child, the teenager, or even an adult, if you arrive saying, listen, you did this, 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 and this, boom, this person already created a cemented block and is not going to listen to you. So this is very interesting. So this is how you can start this improvement. You arrive in a soft way and you start improving, helping to improve, helping the child to see what is wrong. And I put a picture here of a mom with 2 kids. And lots of times we see parents saying, they are twins and they are extremely different. And I raised them exactly the same. But the enlightened spirits, they tell us you can never raise 2 kids in the same way. They are 2 different spirits. One is more mellow and the other is more difficult. And maybe they are mellow and difficult in different things, different aspects. But to both of them, you have to be in different ways. So if this one is more mellow, so you only say one time to go to take a shower, that's wonderful. And then you say to the other one, go to take a shower. It's never going. Never gonna go. So you know that you have to say 10 times. Maybe you have to drag her to the shower. So this is the different parenthood. You have 2 kids, but they are extremely different. The education, the way you educate has to be different. These are points that he mentions in his book, and I mentioned some of them. So eat meals as a family whenever you can. This is extremely important. Most of families nowadays, they don't even eat together. So I make a point that we will always eat together in my house. And before we eat, we always have a prayer to give thanks to the day, to give thanks nowadays, to give thanks to be healthy. My mother-in-law, 84 years old, is here with us. So I am happy that we are healthy, and she is too. She lives in New York. She was very lucky to be here with us with all this started happening, so she didn't go back. So, and when we are having dinner, is the moment we have to talk to each other. How was your school? What happened? My day was like this. So it is important for families to bond together. And then support your team's efforts as an individual. They all have their desires to do something. If it's good, help them. And be sure your child can handle new responsibilities, not just about driving, but about anything. Make sure they can help them, guide them. If you do like this, will be better. And monitor your teens' online activity, not just online. Rosandro is the one that advocates a lot about it. Online now is a huge danger that our kids are exposed to an outside world being inside the house. So you as a parent have to be careful. I know sometimes it's impossible to check everything because they have thousands of apps that we don't even know how to use. But teach them, talk about drugs, talk about sex, talk about dangers online, so they will be a little bit more aware of it. I know it's not easy, but you have to also know their friends. You know, invite their friends to your house. It's so important that you know who they are with, the kids, the neighbors, who are the kids that they are interacting. So it's good for you to meet them. And here, you know, support, wait, and repeat. So this starts when they're little. I remember when my son was little, I even learned a song that was talking about clean up. Yes, had a clean up song that we used to teach, hoping the kid was going to be nice and clean up. Of course, you always have to help, not easy. But if you don't do it, if you do it by yourself only, this is what's going to happen. And even if sometimes you teach so much, you clean up, he does, when he's alone, he becomes like that. And this is the dream of a mother. Mother dreams, this is my kid's room. Yeah, it's not exactly like that, but maybe it's the middle ground. It's already good. So let's hope for that. And in this beautiful book from Emmanuel, the name is A Religion of the Spirits. The science of teaching only fully triumphs in the advisor who knows how to support, wait, and repeat. Repeat. As we know, mothers are great in repeating. My son always says, Mom, you already told me 1,000 times. Really? Have you done it? Oh, I'm going to do it now. I know if I say, remove the clean socks from the floor once, it's never going to happen. So every 5 minutes, I have to repeat. And I even told him, I feel like I am a parrot, or I am a old, what's the name of that, the recorder that from the past, that the disc was bad and keep repeating. But this is mothers. And, you repeat until, boom, it clicks there. Somehow it clicks there. But you have to do it in order to help them. And this point, Rosando talks a lot. He gives even an example of his own friend who was very rich, picked up the kids that just returned from Disney World, and he had to drive there to pick up the kids. And when the kids arrived, they were kind of mistreating the father, his friend. And it was the father's birthday. The kids didn't even say happy birthday. They were all annoyed, saying they were exhausted. Anyway, long story. And the kids ask where they're going to spend summer. He tells the name of a city that he rented a house. And the kids are furious because they are not, his friends will not be there. They start fighting. The father is super angry, asks Rosandro what he should do. And Rosandro said, well, I think it's time for you to have repossession of kids' affection. And that's what the father did. The father got very angry, told them, okay, you don't want to go to the beach, to the house I rented, so nobody's going anywhere. And all this luggage full of things that you bought for yourselves, nobody's getting anything because it's mine. It's my money and the things are mine. And you are not going to rebel against it. So yes, it was strong, it was tough, but it was necessary. And he talks about this. Whenever a responsible adult rebels against the kids' current bad behavior, they have to impose the necessary respect. The parents have to respect, the kids have to respect the parents. And they have to impose also rules. Kids need to have rules to be followed and tasks to be completed. And usually rich kids, they have maids, there is a lot of stuff, they don't need to do anything. But yes, kids need to have things, they need to have responsibilities. And when something like that happens, you have to remove privileges. That's what the father did. He removed the luggage with all the things they bought. So this is now all mine. Nobody's going to touch it. Yes, will be a huge rebellion, will be difficult, but that's when the parents need to be strong, because if they haven't done this until now, remember, the older your kid gets, the more difficult it is. So if you are able to discipline since young age, this is a little bit easier. But sometimes it's impossible to do like Rosandro's friend did. And he removed the privileges, he removed cell phones, luggages, and everything. And that's when the kids start giving value. So my father was actually not that bad. And what can we do now? Takes a time, it's not immediately, but takes time for these kids to be able to realize what they did and how they have to modify it now. So only then kids will start learning how to better live in society. I'm talking about society because family is the first society we live. That's our small society. After we learn how to behave in our little society, then we can expand to a bigger society. If we don't know how to respect our own parents, how these kids are going to respect teachers, how they are going to respect neighbors, how they're going to respect bosses, co-workers. So we have to think about a bigger picture always. So the family shapes the character of the young adults, not the schools. That's why it's so good, the coronavirus. Now I know it's terrible for so many reasons. Please don't get me wrong. But we have to see positive things in problems too. There is always the light at the end of the tunnel. And I'm a very positive person. So even if all these things that are happening around the world, if you think positive, if you learn how to live good lessons, to take good lessons, when this calamity ends, when the coronavirus ends, for whatever reason, we will be able to have learned a lot of positive things from the time we were in this seclusion. So this is what is important. The family teaches first, the school second. The school will teach the intellect. The family teaches the moral. That's very important. And there are a few things that we can help with it. The idea is if you do it since a little child, you know, the gospel at home, you do it once a week for certain amount of time. Some people do to 15 minutes, other people do for 1 hour. And we use as a base this book, The Gospel According to Spiritism, but you can use many other books. And you just talk about together, you know, you talk about the points of the gospel. You read, you talk, you ask, you can ask a child to do the initial prayer, and someone can read, the other person can comment. So it's a bonding. And then you say, but I live alone. So do it alone. Don't worry, you are not alone. The spirits are with you. And you say, oh, but my husband doesn't like it. Don't worry, do it alone. The important thing is to do it. So when you do it in your home, you are protecting the environment that you live. And this is a blessing. You are inviting the good spirits to be with you. So the family that prays together stays together. I know many times it's impossible. Some couples are from different religions, like me, but do your part. You will still be helping your family. And of course, we are blessed to have a Spiritist Center near where we live. Right now, we are online. We still have a Spiritist Center. It's online. That's another blessing. But when we were able to go back to the physical Spiritist Center, that's what it represents: a home, school, hospital, and a temple. It's all this together. So don't expect the Spiritist Center to be a perfect paradise, because it's not. Everybody that is there is because they have something in common with you, but they are also looking for help. So be open to help others, not just to think about yourself receiving help. And most of the Spiritist centers, they have the wonderful guides that teach our little kids, different ages, even teenagers, and it's so beautiful and so important. But for example, right now, you cannot go to the Spiritist Center. You have little kids and you have teenagers, but they still need to continue their improvement. These 2 books are wonderful for teenagers or for people that do not know Spiritism. They are very basic. They have a very simple language, and it's very easy for them to understand. Sometimes you give the Spirit's book very thick. They are not prepared. This is a very little, with very simple answers. It helps teenagers and helps people that do not know Spiritism well. And these other tools are online tools that are wonderful. You can see via Kardec Radio for kids and for teens. You can see via Kardec Radio page on Facebook. You can see live streams for kids and teenagers. The kids is super cool. They have the teachers teaching stories, showing games, interacting with families through the camera. And the teens are done by teenagers. The ones who are the ones talking about many different subjects are teenagers. So they bond, you know, is a 16-year-old talking to another 16-year-old. So it's very interesting. So it's tools, just tools for you to be able to show your kids and teens and they can benefit from it while we are here, still here online. And this book is a blessing. When I was in New York, and we used to have not lectures, but used to have the kids class in one room and the parents class in another room. And I was the one giving the parents class. And I used this book, The Family Constellation. So this is an absolute blessing. It's a very thin book with super powerful tools. If you can search online, you can buy it. And it's beautiful. It helps us in so many ways. So this is one of the sentences. We do not live in the family that we wish for. Look at the family. Instead, we come to a group in which our evolutionary needs are addressed. And it's true. It's true. Many times when we are young, we get rebellious. We see the family of our best friend, and we desire so much we could be in that family. That would be the paradise. Oh, if I could. But we don't know. We don't know. We don't know anything. And wherever we are, that's what we needed. And that's what's going to help us to evolve. So maybe your parents are very tough because of a reason, because you were rebellious. So you needed to have tough parents. If that parents are very good and easygoing and you went to that family, that would be a problem. So God knows better. And when we go to the spiritual realm, the enlightened spirits guide us perfectly. They guide us what will be the best time for you to reincarnate, which year, what's the best country, what's the best family, the best environment. So everything is coordinated. It's not like this. So you are in the best place. And this is what Joanna de Angelis makes an analysis, a psychological analysis of the importance of family through corporeal and spiritual ties, motherhood, blessing and sacrifices, past life errors and ingratitude of children, forgiveness, patience and comprehension, and reincarnation makes bonds of love. So these are just 5 items that she talks so much in this little book. So with this, I want you to embrace all these items that I spoke about and put in your heart, enjoy, research, read the Spirit's book, buy this book if you can, but most of all, embrace your child. Love your child. Doesn't matter how rebellious, how terrible, whatever. Love and discipline them because they need you. And remember, it's your job. God gave you this super ultra full-time job, so do the best you can. And like this, you will be helping yourself, but most of all, you will be guiding this spirit that is with you in this lifetime. So that's your job to help him or her to improve in this lifetime. So, my friends, with this, I will start closing our lecture of today. So it was a blessing to be here with you. And I'm very, very glad to talk about such an important subject in our lives. And I would like to invite you now just to do a prayer so we can connect with our spiritual guides, okay? Dear God, beloved Master Jesus, thank you so much for being here with us. Thank you so much for the lessons that we talked about. Please inspire all of us to understand it, to fulfill the lessons talked today, to understand our differences, and most of all, to respect the ones that raised us, even if they had lots of difficulties. They were not perfect, as we are not perfect. And help us in this evolution. Thank you so much. So be it. So my friends, thank you so much. I hope you enjoyed, and I hope you continue here in Conscious Living, watching other lectures and joining the weekly studies. Thank you so much. God bless you all. See you soon. Bye-bye.